Good afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Frank Gaetano here live from the Hail Palace for our daily hail forecast. As always, sponsored by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor Show, and Atlas. Check those guys out in the description of this video. We have a link to all of their Facebook pages. As always, we start with our weather headlines. So tonight we have a late night, overnight risk for potential storms in Minnesota, and those are going to be cold front induced storms. We have a cold front moving across the northern plains over today and into the next few days, and that's what we're going to talk about for that potential cool down across the plains as that cold front does track southeast over the next few days. So we'll take a look at that, and then as usual, our daily tropical update where we talk about our named systems and any potential waves that we have coming off the coast of Africa as well. But first, like we always do, talk about our upcoming events. We have OU versus Kent State tailgate. So that's going to be this Saturday. Home game for OU. Tailgate is going to start at 2 o'clock. It's right next to where the Bud Wilkinson house used to be. So it's across the field there where all the tailgate tents are. Free food, beer. So come out. That's going to be this Saturday, September 10th at 2 p.m. So make sure you come out. And even if you don't have tickets to the game, you can watch the game there. We're going to have a TV set up streaming the game. And then later on this month, we're going to be at the RCAT MRCA Roofing Conference. So that's going to be in Fort Worth at the Fort Worth Convention Center through September 27th through the 29th. So make sure you come by and see us there if you're going to the RCAT Roofing Conference. Yesterday's storm reports, we did actually have some severe weather yesterday. I mentioned there was going to be some wind in the northwest. That did happen. And we also had some wind and hail reports in the south and southeast. These two hail reports here are subsevere. We did only have one severe hail report right near the Louisiana-Texas border, and then a few scattering of some wind reports. And we up to the northwest, we did have a bunch of wind go through. Not as much as I thought there would have been in Iowa, but across Montana from the southwest moving northeast, we did see a bunch of severe wind reports come in. A lot of this stuff, unfortunately, was not storm-based, so we might not have a map for a few of these because we can only map stuff that we can actually see on radar. But we did have some severe winds, so possible new dates of loss for anywhere in this area. Current conditions across the country, pretty beautiful across the central portions of the country. I did mention that cold front. We can see that right here. That's what this shower activity is here. And temperatures are heating up across the central part of the country. We do have some showers and thunderstorms going on down by Florida. And here is Hurricane Earl looking pretty, moving off to the northeast. Just going to skirt by Bermuda. So there will see some high winds and storm surge in Bermuda, but they're not going to be taking a direct impact from Earl. Like I mentioned, temperatures are heating up across the central plains, and we do see this cold front right here. You can see it right there. That's going to be working its way towards the southeast over the next few days, so we do expect to see a cool down here in the central part of the country, and this is what that's potentially going to look like. So we have our low pressure system here, cold front back this way to the southwest, and we're going to move in. So this is late tonight, and this is going to be the forcing that's going to cause the potential for some severe weather across portions of Minnesota during the overnight hours. And we push that through to Friday afternoon, and we see it's moved further southeast and across the central plains. We do see a cool down moving into portions of Kansas tomorrow. And then if we push that forward again, go into Friday overnight into Saturday, it continues to move. But this thing is going to slow down a bit. It may not make it past, northern Oklahoma. We'll have to see how this plays out going into Sunday. But here we are Saturday afternoon. Temperatures still dropping in northwest Oklahoma. We do expect it to go a little further to the southeast. We'll have to see how far it actually makes it, if we can actually get those temperatures to drop here in central Oklahoma and we can get into the 80s, 70s. That'd be nice. It's been pretty hot consistently here for a while. Here's our future radar for this evening. I'm going to play this through. You're going to see nothing much going on through the afternoon and early evening hours. And then once we get to the late evening and overnight hours, we see storms start to fire here in South Dakota, moving east-northeastward across portions of Minnesota. Minneapolis, you technically are in the risk area for some strong winds tonight, but it's looking like storms may stay to your north. It depends on what we're going to get for storm mode. If it's more a couple of isolated storms, your risk is going to go down. And if we do see storms line out with that cold front, your risk for wind actually goes up. So we're going to have to see what kind of storm mode actually comes from this. We also have a risk here in the Wyoming area with that cold front trailing back through Wyoming. So we see storms coming off the high terrain and pushing eastward through the afternoon and evening hours. And then once we get that loss of daytime heating and after the cold front passes, that instability will go down. So we will see these storms become less severe as the evening goes on. Here we're here going into tomorrow morning. So what's that going to look like graphically for us? Well, only one area for our hail forecast, and here in portions of Minnesota. We see a low-end chance for St. Cloud and a low-end chance for Duluth for hail up to $half size potentially for the strongest storms. Like I mentioned, just to the north of Minneapolis. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but we are just to the north of Minneapolis with that risk. And it's going to look similar for the wind risk, though I did include Minneapolis in the wind risk because if those storms line out, your chances go up for the potential of strong winds. So Minneapolis, low-end chance, St. Cloud again, low-end chance, and Duluth. And we work our way back to the west here. A couple of cities in the risk area here, Riverton, low-end risk for some strong winds, up to 60 miles per hour, and Casper as well. So let's take a look at the radar for tomorrow. We're going to be seeing some storms going into the morning and then into the afternoon. They come onshore around from areas of Tampa up to Lake City and then push towards the east and northeast. So we're going to see storms entering the Jacksonville area in the afternoon, and then those are going to push off the coast during the evening hours. So places like Tampa, Jacksonville, we could see some storms pop off in Tallahassee earlier on in this risk. There's a low-end risk for some weak tornadoes with that activity. And so this is what that's going to look like for tomorrow. This is the area we have highlighted. And I do have a little tornado thing here. So this area right here is going to have the best potential for some low-end weak tornadoes. Still only like a 2% risk though, so not a very high risk for tornadoes. So low-end risk for that for Tallahassee, and then this area over here is going to have the better potential for the straight line winds with some of those storms. Still low-end risks though for Tampa, Jacksonville, and Savannah. So how about after that? We're going to let this play through going into the weekend. And I mentioned yesterday that we do have an upper level cutoff low that's supposed to develop. So here that is. Now the issue with this may not produce much severe weather because there's not a lot of cyclogenesis in portions of the atmosphere. So that's going to like make the spin happen to create a low pressure system that's going to produce that severe weather, but we'll have to see how this plays out going into the weekend as that cutoff low slowly drifts eastward into the upper Midwest and Ohio Valley going into the beginning of next week. So I want to talk about the sea surface temperatures. We actually have really good conditions for tropical development right now. With the sea surface temperatures, you want to see them in the 80s. So we're in the mid to almost upper 80s here in the Gulf of Mexico and in the Atlantic due to those currents that push that water into there. So we have the loop channel here, takes it up here and then comes around into the Gulf Stream. So we are seeing some warm temperatures. The issue that we do have though is the upper level winds right now are not very conducive to tropical development. So with those two areas that we have to talk about that I've been talking about for a few days now, they upgraded to a high risk for this area to develop, but we're going to talk about this one first. So this wave actually has officially come off the coast of Africa. Still a 0% chance within the next 2 days and a 30% chance within the next 5 days as that works its way slowly off to the west and northwest. And then we're going to talk about this area. They have upgraded to a high, so 70% chance of development in the next 2 days, and still a 70% chance for the next 5 days. And they do mention those upper level winds being the impotence factor for that as we talk about the 70% chance. So you would want to see that be higher if you want the development, but those upper level winds may kind of temper that. And we do have the 2 name systems as Danielle has weakened. So where are we after that? So we've got Alex, Bonnie, Colin, Danielle, Earl. So if we do get that system to develop as it works its way westward, our next name system would be Fiona. And as always, we're going to keep you updated on the tropics on the daily here. And make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We are at Hilltrace for all of those. And if you want to get in contact with us, it's 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hilltrace.com or go straight to our website, www.hilltrace.com, for more info about who we are and what we can do to help your company. But for now, I'm meteorologist Frank Gaetano. Everybody have a great rest of your Thursday.